John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello, my name is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. I've spent time at Equifax, which is one of the credit reporting agencies, and FICO, which is the company behind the FICO credit scoring system. All right, so in today's vlog, I am going to spend some time talking about what I think the next 5 years holds for credit. And that can mean anything from credit laws to credit reports or credit scores, credit repair, anything at all as it pertains to credit. So here are some that I think are, I don't want to say slam dunks. I think they have a 50% or higher chance of actually happening, all right? Which is actually pretty good if you're trying to tell the future. Number one, and these aren't in any particular order. I absolutely believe that the CARES Act amendments to the Fair Credit Reporting Act will expire. They were not meant to be permanent. These are the provisions in the CARES Act that make the requirement to pay back federally guaranteed loans like student loans and mortgages. Right now, all that stuff is either in deferment or forbearance. No one's making payments on any of that stuff right now unless they absolutely want to. So clearly that is going to expire and people are going to have to start paying back their obligations over the next 5 years. In fact, that will probably happen well before 5 years, but certainly in 5 years, the CARES Act protections because of COVID, I think are going to expire. People should pay back the money that they've borrowed. It's not fair that someone else should have to pay back your loan for you. So I think that's absolutely going to occur. What this also means is the credit reporting protections are also going to expire. So right now, if you have some sort of an arrangement with your lender and you're living up to your end of the arrangement, then that lender has to report you as being current to the credit reporting agencies. That's clearly going to expire. Any arrangement that you have with your lender is going to expire. They're going to want the actual contractual payment that you owe them every month. And if you don't live up to that bargain, then they're going to be able to report you as being delinquent to the credit reporting agencies. So I think that one has I'm going to give that one a star. I think that one's got a really, really good chance. I'd almost bet the farm on that one. Number two, tax liens and civil judgments. As of the recording of this video, which is early 2021, tax liens and judgments are not on credit reports, okay? In fact, since 2018, mid-2018, tax liens and civil judgments have not been on credit reports. The credit reporting agencies purged that information and did not continue to report judgments and tax liens on consumers' credit reports, despite the fact that they've been on credit reports for decades. I think that there is a modest chance that you'll see tax liens and judgments back on consumer credit reports. And frankly, they should be. Just because they're not on your credit reports doesn't mean that they don't exist. If you have a tax lien, you have a tax lien. If you have a judgment, you have a judgment. They're still out there. They're still public records. Anybody can find them if they choose to look for them. I think that they're going to make their way back on consumer credit reports. Or I think there is I'm going to give this one a smaller star because I'm not as confident about this one as I am about the first one. There are already other types of reports that exist that have been created for the purpose of including tax liens and judgments. And so, there's a market that is forming or that has formed to fill the gap that was left behind when the credit reporting agencies purged this information. So I think that this information is going to end up being back on credit reports. Next, I think the Fair Credit Reporting Act will be amended, if not once, then twice in the next 5 years. If you look at the history of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which was enacted into law when I was 3 years old, so that gives you an indication of just how old that act is, it has been amended dozens of times since then. So the FCRA is commonly amended. That's not anything unusual. I think it's going to happen in the next 5 years, at least once, probably twice. I'm not a political person. We have a Democrat in the White House, and we have a Democrat-controlled Senate and House, and you would expect more consumer protections and restrictions on credit and the credit industry to come from that type of a structure. I think that's a reasonable thing. That's not controversial at all. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see a couple of amendments to the FCRA in the next 5 years. And I think one of those amendments is going to include free credit reports for consumers 24/7, 365, meaning that whenever someone wants a copy of their credit report, they're able to get it at no cost. Today, the language in the Fair Credit Reporting Act only allows for you to get a free credit report from the credit reporting agencies once every 12 months. I think everybody can agree that I don't know if that's woefully inadequate, but it just doesn't seem like it's enough. The credit reporting industry, because of COVID, actually kind of unlocked the annual creditreport.com website where they actually give away those once every 12-month credit reports, and now they allow one per week. And so it seems like the trajectory is going towards more frequent free credit reports rather than less frequent credit reports. And so I can actually see this becoming, kind of codified into law in the next amendment or in the next couple of amendments. And I don't think anybody would argue that that's a bad thing. Whether or not people actually take advantage of this, that's a different animal. But it would be great if you can just pull your credit report kind of on demand whenever you want it. I'm going to give this one kind of a bigger star because I do think that one is more likely to happen than not. The next one, the use of the VantageScore credit score, I think is going to continue to go up. If you look at the VantageScore market share numbers, and those are publicly available on their website, they actually survey this periodically. The trajectory of VantageScore's usage has gone like this over time. That means more and more of their scores are being used by more and more lenders. The last time they did a survey was from the middle of 2018 to the middle of 2019, so that 12-month period, and over 12 billion of their scores were used. And just for clarity, this isn't used by being given away on free websites. I mean, being used for the purposes of underwriting. A percentage of those were given away for free from websites, but considerably high percentage of this number was from lenders using them for the purposes of risk assessment. I think this one is probably almost as good of a guarantee as the first one on the list. I think the last one that I probably should spend at least a few minutes on is the future of credit repair. It wasn't on the list, but I'm going to put it on the list and kind of call an audible. Credit repair, look, I'm not the morality police. I have no opinion whether credit repair is good or bad. If they follow the law, then they're operating legally in this United States. And so it is what it is. However, credit repair, I think the CFPB doesn't like credit repair very much. And they're using a rule that's not really a law. It's called the TSR, the Telephone Sales Rule. And they're really using it to try to shut down some credit repair operators. The issue is that when are payments allowed to be accepted from customers? And right now, the credit repair laws allow credit repair companies to charge consumers for services once they've been fully rendered. The TSR actually may restrict it to be 6 months, or actually restricts it you can't collect for 6 months. It puts the credit repair companies almost out of business unless they have a lot of cash flow that's just sitting around waiting to be used. And so I think credit repair is going to be less common and maybe fewer companies doing it, maybe the larger companies that can deal with that kind of restrictive use or restrictions in when they can actually bill their clients. I'm going to give that one kind of a small star because no one really knows if that's actually going to happen, but I can see some momentum going this direction in the next 5 years. So if you have any predictions of where you think the world of credit is going to be in the next 5 years, drop them in the section below. We can talk about them. I may do a video about them. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.